we are very privileged, right, today to have invited Mr. William Ng, the Chief Operating Officer of Parcel, to share with us their journey in going through the learnings of AI and the adoption of AI. And for those of us who use Parcel, and William, I'm a very happy loyal customer, right? Those of us who use Parcel, you know that it's very sharp, focused, and I can rest assured that the delivery will always achieve ahead of expectation. So I'm not going to say much and steal away your thunder, William. So I'm going to pass it to you to tell the audience what Parcel have gone through and share with us your experience. Over to you, William.
Okay, thank you, Olivia. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So in the earlier sessions that we have already heard a number of our speakers speaking from a perspective of enablers. Industry professionals, people that have developed tools and resources to really get on board the AI journey. So my role today is to really share with you a bit more about from a user perspective, from a practitioner, how are we really using AI, how do we view AI, especially in the sector that we are in, which is logistics, particularly e-commerce logistics and same-day delivery. So as everyone will know that the logistics sector has experienced phenomenal growth and challenges over the last 18 months with the outbreak of COVID-19, like actually everyone else. Delivery has become the key connection between our digital and our daily lives. So I think everyone will experience a number of deliveries throughout this pandemic, as a lot of our daily life essential purchases are being forced to move online. So Parcel is actually an AI-enabled same-day delivery platform that can be used to deliver any packages at speed from meat to medicine. And we have experienced an average growth rate of about 60% over the last 3 years, and have built up systems to be operational ready to meet the growing demand and complexity of same-day delivery. So today I'll be sharing a bit more about how to be operational ready using AI in same-day logistics. So what is actually Parcel? If I bought anything online in the last 18 months in Singapore that requires same-day delivery, there's a high likelihood that it's being delivered by us. Parcel is actually a same-day delivery platform that matches delivery demand to our drivers using our backend and our mobile app system. Our algorithm will generate matching and recommendations of these jobs to drivers on the go. And in the current date, we have about 20,000 registered delivery partners with us on our platform. And we're actually a category leader in a number of essential segments that require same-day delivery. For example, the first one is in our medication, telemedicine delivery. So if you have seen a doctor online with a number of different providers and got your medicine delivered to you in between 1 to 3 hours, it could likely be delivered by us. We serve the largest healthcare clinic chain in Singapore, Healthway Medical, Singapore's largest pharmaceutical wholesaler, Pan Malaya Pharmaceuticals, and a lot of others telemedicine providers as well. The second essential is, where Singaporeans or a lot of people can't live without, is actually food. Fresh, frozen food, cakes, bakery items. If you have bought from any of the brands like grocery items like Donkey Small Market, Imi Cakes, Lady M Cakes, is likely delivered by us, as we are currently the largest same-day delivery provider on platforms like Shopee. And the other categories like electronics, fashion-related goods, that want to differentiate themselves with a same-day delivery compared to a 2 to 3 day delivery will be our target audience and what our core competency lies in. So what's so different about what we do? First is to explain how to be operational ready and what is the complexity surrounding a same-day option. In a typical e-commerce or any kind of delivery, right, that you expect to get your item the next day or in the 2 to 3 days, it goes through 3 stages. First, a first mile collection, in which the item is being collected from the merchant, the seller of this item, or the warehouse of this seller. They're transported to a centralized sorting facility, a sorting warehouse, in which it gets sorted into further zones, and then followed by a last mile delivery. Because of the sorting that has to be done, the distance traveled by the vehicles is typically longer, in totality, as well as because of the sorting that needs to happen. The packages need time to reach you. Yeah, and typically a lot of sorting is being done overnight. So in order to reach you the following morning after being collected from the merchant. And what we do differently from a sorting facility, which is typically a hub and spoke or operation, is to transform it into a point-to-point, in which we collect directly from the collection point and bypass the sorting center and go straight to the buyer or the customer's premises. So what's so challenging about this? If you look at my top left and right corner, you see two formulas. Right, we are not an AI yet, so we just want to tell you that if you're doing a hub and spoke model, the number of routes that can connect to the system is n-1, and whereas if you're doing a point-to-point, it's actually it will grow at a exponential amount. So the number of routes that will connect all the points is actually n multiplied by n-1 divided by 2. Just to give you a context, is assuming that you have 10 points to travel to connect to. If you are using a hub and spoke system, you only need 9 routes to connect it if you are centralized warehousing. And if you are doing point to point, the same 10 points that you need to connect with a direct point to point route, right, now grow into 45 routes. So why do we need AI? Just now to explain the complexity of what we are doing in the same day point to point delivery. We try to figure out or try to answer the questions that is AI really extra or is it essential? So in many of you may come from other countries, but we do have some Singaporeans here, and if you translate AI into the local dialect Hokkien, it's called Gei Kiang. Gei Kiang means it's acting smart. Like, do you really need AI in this, or it's part of essential part of the business? So for us, like what I explained just now, just on the 10-point routes, right, it already create a multiple fold of the number of routes that you need to connect all these points. Imagine now we scale it up to a few thousand delivery points that we have to do a day. We have a few thousand delivery points, just 1,000 delivery points, right? Will already bring your number of routes, right, to an unmanageable amount. It's almost about 500 routes that's possible. So it becomes almost impossible for us to really use manual calculation or physical manpower to try to plan out the routes for the drivers. Yeah, and that answers the question of why do we need AI? Is it a fanciful name, or is it something that has real business value? Some of the speakers like Mr. Koo earlier spoken on, to embark on any kind of AI project, first you need to be clear about your business case. Yeah, is it a project that you just want an AI tech to your company, or is it something that can drive actual business value, which is the most important questions you need to answer. How is it going to help you to gain efficiency in your business and in your operations? So then we combine again AI by the route planning with another idea, which is a crowdsourced fleet. Crowdsourced meaning that actually we don't own any of the delivery vehicles or the direct employing these drivers in our network. They are actually people like you and me, independent contractors, freelancers, and because of the number of points that we have, a number of routes to connect the deliveries, if you try to use a own asset, you are almost impossible to fully utilize your asset. But when these assets are being distributed, throughout the country, and you activate them based on the most suited person to deliver this at speed, while the delivery partner or driver earns an income from it. We're combining these two ideas. We use AI to figure out how to best match these jobs to these drivers. And that is how we actually become more operational ready. Without using AI, it's really impossible to try to match these jobs to the driver. I would say if we have few thousand deliveries that are going on at any moment of time, the potential number of routes will go to the millions, and we have so many drivers in order to do this, and it's really impossible to do this matching manually. So how do we really do the optimization and use AI in our operations, right? Just as a snapshot, we have 3 layers of optimization. First is at a single collection point. So from a single collection point, the system figure out how to cluster these jobs based on the region that they're going. The deliveries going to the same region are being clustered together, and the driver accept a bundle of deliveries. At the second level, the system then figure out what are neighboring collection points that is near to the first collection point that the driver has first collected, but is going to the same region that this driver is going to travel to. And then they create another smart bundles to complement the first bundle that you have taken. And these 2 bundles adds up to give the driver more deliveries to make while traveling from point A to point B by picking up from multiple collection points. And then comes the third level, in which the drivers are being recommended certain or suggested certain jobs that will then complement the route they're traveling to. So when you're traveling from A to B, you may pass by a midpoint. And in this midpoint, there may be other packages to be collected. The system then recommend you. Not much different from, like how you buy things online on Amazon or e-commerce platform. After you have bought something, based on your past purchases and things, the system recommended, hey, look, you have bought this, you should also buy something else to really complete your purchases. So we do this on a delivery basis. How do we recommend drivers jobs that will then maximize their earning while lowering their cost of operations? We come to the point that how do you really assess how ready you are for AI? Just now, Seng-Ming has already went through you the framework. I stole a slide from him to show you where we stand. So we have done, actually we have the earlier batch of participants that Lawrence has mentioned have done the survey or the assessment, and we are assessed to be AI ready. And how do we really use this readiness index, right, to further complement our efforts and build out our capabilities? So I'll urge everyone that to really understand where you stand. If you don't know AI, not to worry. The survey is very simple. The tool is very easy to use. It probably just take you about 15 minutes. No need appointments. It's free. You just need to go online and then answer the questions. And 15 minutes later, you get a list of recommendation of results telling you your position and from which would be the gaps that you want to close, and what would be your aspiration. Like some companies, like just now when Lawrence mentioned you don't need Ya-Kun to be AI competent. But if you are a tech in a company and you are developing products, you do need to know that where you want to be. Are you going to be AI ready to deploy the models, or do you want to be AI competent to develop your own models? Okay, so after understanding that we are AI ready and what are the tools that we need, we have been changing or leveraging other tools, like switching our platform to be Python based, so that we can leverage on the machine learning tools and libraries that are most extensive in Python. And also going for training for our engineers to embark on. And in this aspect, right, AI Singapore provide actually a lot of resources to support companies in this journey. Just to share with you the programs that they are on, for example, AI for Industry. So all of our Singapore-based engineers actually go through the AI for Industry training and certification. So they will attend courses online right now. And then to get certification, you will need to go through a certain project that of a certain value in order to be certified to be AI engineer. And it's not only for your engineering team. Like there are certain tools that are ready to use, like the RPAs and things, and more of the operational level of your company, right? could also sign up for their AI for Everyone program. So AI for Everyone program assumes you to have no knowledge or very little knowledge about AI, and it really goes through with you the foundation of what is AI and how can you leverage on some simple tools and ready functions to build some simple ideas. And this actually promotes a company-wide understanding of AI, and for them to be able to pick out areas that could use AI to improve their daily processes. No, it may not be just the core trade they're in. For example, for us, it's delivery. It could be the areas of your finance, your billing, some of your operating processes. And if you are really going to go to a level of being AI ready or even AI competent, sending your engineers for training and then subsequently embarking on the 100 experiments with AISG will be a good way to accelerate your development. So we work with AISG on a number of our projects. For example, just now I mentioned our level 2 optimization, in which we cluster different locations or nearby locations together. It's actually developed together with AISG in one of the projects. So with that, right, the idea of getting our engineers trained is to really be ready to move on to the next level. And in these areas, right, AI Singapore in the projects not only act as a consultant, but also act as a training provider, in which it helps our engineers also gain valuable experience by working with their apprentices. And this is really a good program in which the apprentices also get trained. And what AISG want is also the apprentices to be able to work on real-life projects and subsequently secure employment with the companies, which is an excellent way for companies to extract business value from the AI project and then subsequently hiring the apprentice if they are a good fit for your company. So just now I mentioned about looking at getting to be AI competent, because being a competent company AI allows you to then build your own models, which is what we aspire towards. We are using our engineers training and things to really come up with different models. URoute is also one of the products that were born through our training with AI, and this is being built to allow users to use the Parcel engine, but deploy in their own operations. Meaning that, say for example, any logistic company without the data, without the knowledge accumulated, right, it's not competent on building their own model, but they can use URoute being built on the data that we have accumulated as a route optimizer and delivery system that can be used by any company or driver independently of engaging, whether they engage Parcel for delivery. So the main thing is to allow the companies without resources or experience or data to be operational ready in their logistic functions. As we mentioned earlier on, data is actually one of the key areas in order to embark on any projects. It's essential for you to look at what kind of data do we have and what's the business value before even trying to look at do you want to start an AI project. So my last parting words will be explore the tools and be ready for AI. Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you very much, William. That's really a very exciting presentation. I guess it's always good to hear from the actual adopters of AI, and the experience they've gone through certainly will help many of us in considering what we should do for AI.